The main event today is the Lion Trading package. And the Lion Trading package combines King Order Block with Kingdom. And we're going to be talking about these two indicators. Whatever questions you have, you can place in the chat, but I will not look at the chat until I'm done with this immediate presentation. Then I'm going to take you guys to live charts. I'm going to be just explaining these indicators on a live chart and then see if we can actually catch some trades. And that's while we're waiting for the setups that I will be looking at the chat box. Okay, so uh, so the whole idea of King Order Block, what is that? The King Order Block is basically the ninZaRenko version of Boss Order Block, which identifies dynamic supply and demand zones as the session goes on. So the Boss Order Block is for, let's say, time charts. King Order Block is specifically designed for the ninZaRenko bar, and as such, I believe it is best suited for scalping trades as opposed to position trading or swing trading. So we're going to be looking all of this in the live chart, but basically what is happening, King Order Block finds supply demand zones in real time, dynamic supply demand zones. That's what it does. It paints these zones, green for support, red for resistance. I think someone's mic is open and I can hear a feedback and it bothers me. One second, guys. Let me just make sure. Okay, I know everything. Yeah, if your mic is on, if you could just make sure that it's muted, that would help me. Now, so this King Order Block, again, which finds support resistance zone, dynamic support resistance, is combined with Kingdom. What Kingdom is, it's an indicator that looks at level 2 data. Very important. I spoke about this the first webinar, but it's worth repeating. It needs access to level 2 data. So the charts we'll be looking at, the connection there is my own personal account. It's not a prop firm account. Prop firms, from what I've learned since, do offer, at least some of them, do offer level 2 data. They charge for it. It costs a bit of money, but they do offer level 2 data. What is level 2 data? It's basically sell and buy orders incoming, sell and buy orders that are away from the immediate price. So level 1 is just going to give you the immediate, buy and sell number of contracts that are coming in. Level 2 is going to give you access to much further away from the current price total buy and sell orders that are coming in. Kingdom is going to be looking at the incoming orders to decide if there are more buying orders coming in or more sell orders coming in. The idea being, as price is coming to a support area as identified by King Order Block, it will look to see if there are more buying orders coming in than sell orders and the ratio. So that's something I'm going to show you. You can customize the ratio. The higher the ratio, obviously the less trades you're going to have, because Kingdom is going to it would require many more buying orders than selling orders coming in to trigger a trade. If you reduce the ratio number down, and on my chart that you're going to see today, it's actually at 2. ninZaRenko kind of warned me about this, and I'm going to be just straight with you here. I picked 2 so we can see more trades. It's not ideal, though, in your own trading. 2 is a little too low. You probably want 3. You want a ratio of 3. Okay, meaning you want a 3 to 1. In the case of a long, if you're looking for a long, you want to see 3-to-1 buy orders coming in than sell orders coming in. Now, of course, since you're looking for 3-to-1 ratio, you're going to have less signals. Okay, so just kind of, I'm going to be repeating this again, but let me just kind of start with that. Okay, so we're going to get a gift. There's going to be a gift at the end of this presentation. Again, using King Renko bar, I believe it's for scalping, and the template I chose is a scalping template. So yeah, we're going to, okay, so right, it's something we spoke about, and I'm going to show you. The king order block will define these zones, supply and demand zones, and the kingdom is going to be looking when price arrives at these zones. It's going to be looking where are the sellers, where are the buyers, which side is overwhelming which side, and if we are in an area of resistance and selling orders overwhelm the buying orders, it will trigger a short. Okay, so this is again, I'm trying to get to the live charts because I don't want to waste too much time. I'm going to be showing all of this on the live chart, but you know, the components of Kingdom, the main components are, it has the control panel, which we will look at. You can put your account number there. You can, a number of contracts, of course. Um, just make sure. Sorry, guys, 1 second here. Yeah. Yeah, so it has a wall which represents buy and sell orders, right? So if you have many more buying orders, you're going to see kind of a bigger green wall, and whatever color that is. If there are a lot of sell orders, there is this gauge, which again will show you if there are more buying orders or selling orders coming in. In this case here, we see more sell orders than buying orders coming in. Okay, I'm just trying to, because all this I'm going to talk about on the live chart. Yeah, let me get to the live chart. I think it's better if we just get to the live chart. Then I can just talk about this. Let me, hold on, bring this over. And then I can describe every component, and it's just easier for me if I have an actual chart in front of me. 1 minute, let me find it. It's this one. Okay. All right, there we go. Okay, so now this is a live NASDAQ chart. And here, this is Kingdom, okay? This is the King order block, right? Here it finds areas of support, right? Before there were areas of resistance, areas of support, area of resistance. Now, here is what you do with the Kingdom. You double click it. You double click to open up the control panel. You select your account here, and obviously the account you select should be the same account that is on your chart trader, right? If you have different accounts, it's going to be taking trades in that account. So, you know, you don't want that. You want to make sure that they match. Kingdom, if you wish, will take trades in full automation. You have to enable it. I don't want to do it yet, but you can enable it right over here. Long and short, you enable here. Once you do that, and price comes to a support area and a certain amount of buyers, in other words, a certain amount of orders have greater amount of buyers than sellers, it would trigger a long trade in full automation, even if there is no signal yet from the King order block indicator. What Kingdom is looking for is simply, in the case of a long, more buyers than sellers. That's all it's looking for. It doesn't care about the signals. It cares about the zone, so it will wait until price gets into the zone, and then it simply starts looking at the orders to see if we have more buyers or more sellers, depending on where price is. Is it in a resistance area where it will be looking for shorts, or is it in a support area where it will be looking for long signals? Now, um, full disclosure, I actually, when NINZaRenko introduced me to this, I was trying to figure this out on my own, but I'm not very good with technology. If you've been following me for a while, you know I'm just not good with this stuff. So I asked them for the template, and that's what they sent me. They sent me a template. But the fact is, you can use Kingdom with other indicators as well, not only with King Order Block. So what you do is you would, after you minimize it like this, you would click Kingdom itself. You would click it. Oops, opened up in a different window. And when it opens up in a different window, and I apologize, I don't know why the background is white. Can't even see anything. I'm sure you guys cannot see anything. I can see it here, but I don't know if it comes through on Zoom. Um, it has a list of all your indicators. You would pick the indicator that that you want Kingdom to look at. So in this case, of course, I picked King Order Block. Um, and then and then what NINZaRenko wants you to do is it wants you to change bull and bear to +2, -2 for Kingdom to identify. It's just the way it identifies when to look for long or short signals. So again, I simply received the template. So if you're going to purchase it and you don't want to play around with it, just ask NINZaRenko for the template. They're going to just send you the template, much easier. Um, but that's how you would do this. You would click on Kingdom to bring up the list of all the indicators you have available. Okay. Yeah. Then another thing I want to show before we start looking for trades here. Let me show you. Sorry. So on Kingdom itself, there is the important number. You see this 2, as far as the ratio, I lowered it to 2. That's a very low number. That's a very low number. And uh, now what it will do is it would lower the threshold to actually generate a signal. And I think NINZaRenko recommends it to be 3. My own decision was to put it on 2 because I want to see as many signals as possible. The only reason I'm bringing it up is that that's not what I recommend you do in your own trading, right? You don't have to demonstrate for anyone, so it's not a question of getting a lot of signals. So 3 is probably better than 2, but I set it at 2. So it's going to just be looking for more. It would lower the threshold to to generate the signal. Okay, now let me second here. Okay, all right. So let's say I'm ready to go, right? I'm ready to go. So I'm going to double click this, which opens up the control panel. And now I can select longs only, or I can select shorts only. I'm gonna select both. And it grabbed a trade already. Okay, so it grabs the trade. Why? Because price was in this support area. All right. Now you see how quickly it grabbed it, ended up being a losing trade. Again, I was just looking to get as many trades as possible, not necessarily looking for precision here. So now we're going to wait. Now we're going to wait. We are waiting for price to get to an order block zone, whether a bearish zone or a bullish zone. And then Kingdom is going to be looking at incoming orders. And as long as there is a ratio of 2 to 1, because that's what I selected, as long as there is a ratio of 2 to 1 of buyers to sellers or sellers to buyers, depending where we are, it's going to trigger a trade. Full automation. Okay, so while it's looking for a trade, let me quickly look at the chat box. Okay. I believe it's recorded. I think ninZaRenko records all these presentations. Can we back test it? I a king Renko bar you can back test because it's not a regular Renko bar. So I believe you can. Now I did not see any back tests done by ninZaRenko, but I believe you can back test it. You can definitely play replay data. Okay, so it's still just looking for a trade. Me, it's a bit easier to see. Let me drag this up here. So let's see. Like if price comes into here, this is a support area. It might start looking at orders to see if there are more buyers that would come in over here. You see how price is just in between, there are no signals. So it's not just going to arbitrarily take a long or a short, even if there is a 2-to-1 ratio, because price is not in an order block zone. And as long as price is not in an order block zone, it's not going to take trades. So in this sense, Kingdom is kind of like Captain Optimus in that sense, um, that it isolates the indicator that it's working with. And you can pick, I guess, whatever indicators you have, you know, in your computer, as long as they have the signals that are compatible with King Auto Block. It has to do, and again, I know nothing about this, but it has to do with like the +1 and -1. It has to be identified. Incidentally, if you were to ask me, is King Order Block a trend following or a reversal type of an indicator? I would argue more that it's a reversal uh, type of an indicator. It's not so much concerned with overall direction. It's concerned with areas of supply and demand, and those tend to be more reversal type trades than trend following trades. Okay, so again, they're just going sideways, and as long as price is not in any zone, there'll be no signals, but we'll just wait. We'll just wait, plenty of time. That's why I wanted to get to this chart as soon as possible. Okay. Orange and green cloud. Okay, let's talk about this. So this cloud here represents the buyers, right? This cloud represents the buyers. This cloud represents the sellers. So I think they call it wave, okay? So guess this wave represents the buyers. This wave represents the sellers. Just like this gauge, right? This part represents the sellers. This part represents the buyers. And again, this is from level 2 data. So if you don't have level 2 data, this simply will not work. So very important, you must have level 2 data. Okay, so it looks like it begins to develop a resistance zone here. So now it's going to start looking to see if we can have a 2-to-1 ratio of sellers to buyers. And very often, the entries will end up being early entries. What I mean by early entries, they will happen before, let's say, we have a reversal bar. But not in this case, I guess there just aren't enough sellers for the customization that I put in Kingdom. The three indicators with this package. Well, it's the King Renko bar, the King Renko bar. It's the King order block. The King order block creates the zones. These zones, that's King order block. And Kingdom, that's this. That's the waves. That's the gauge. Uh, this indicator. So Kingdom looks at level two data to determine if there are more buying or selling orders coming in, and it then shows it to you. It represents this number visually, so you can see visually if there are more buying or selling orders coming in. And I really wish it would take a trade, but it doesn't. And it's a shame. But it is what it is. So when you deal with automation, obviously it's it's very strict. It's not. It will take only. It will only fire a signal. Only fire a trade when certain conditions are met in the indicator itself. And again, the indicator that generates the trades is Kingdom, based on buying and selling orders. Okay, so now it looks like it's finding a support area. And that's like the one thing, I guess, because I was with support from ninZaRenko the other day. I just did not feel it was taking enough trades, and that's so that tech kind of worked with me, um, and that's what it told me that the lower the number is in Kingdom, the more trades it would generate. They just wouldn't be as reliable. But now it's not taking trades, and it's a shame. Anyway, let me see. How many charts can you trade with this? I guess as many as your computer will allow, right? If you have a solid computer, uh, you probably can have 20 charts. I mean, I don't think there is a limit. Um, if anyone here from ninZaRenko and you want to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think there is a limit. I think only your computer can, your computer strength will decide how many charts you can have open, but you can open as many charts as you want. So maybe it's a good thing it's not generating any signals because we're just kind of going sideways here. I'm just looking at a chart. 171. So if we come to around 171, it would be interesting. Yeah, but just not quite taking trades here. So these signals are from auto block, right? King auto block. That's what these signals are from. Yeah, there are some indications we're going to see 171. I'm just trying to see if they're going to get to 171. You see, if there were enough buyers here, it would take a trade like anywhere within the zone. Let's see. Is yes better suited? Yeah, I'm not sure, I guess. It's because it's not number of contracts, right? It's the ratio of sellers to buyers. So obviously Nasdaq is a much thinner market than the S&P, but it's the ratio, not the number. Okay, so yours just triggered long and mine didn't. So I wonder if it's something I did wrong, which is very possible. As I said, I'm um, okay. So I'm just waiting for the 171. As I said, 171 is indicated. 179. They should go to 171. So let's see. Did I do something wrong? Which is very possible. It was taking trades earlier, and all of a sudden it's not. So I think looks right. Of course, probably would know even if it looks right. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So, so maybe this doing's fine. Um, so I'm trying to understand, Richard, your question. Right? When the ratio is met, is equivalent to the reversal point pivot. Well, it looks for the ratio of sellers to buyers when it's in the zone, right? So um, either a resistance zone or a support zone. Once it's there, then it looks for that 2-to-1 ratio in my case of either buyers to sellers or sellers to buyers. So 171, that's what I'm waiting for. And it looks like there is a zone right here. So it should be interesting. I would love to take a long at 171. 171. Here it comes. 171. Okay, please take a trade. Well, I guess now it wouldn't take a trade though, because it's this zone stopped printing. Um, this 171 to the tick. So let's see what they're gonna do here. It's actually interesting. Just I mean, I guess the presentation aside, it's just 171 is an interesting number to see if they can hold it. Because if they can't, well, like if they're not, yeah, that could be actually pretty bad. So so they quickly spike it. Let's see what they're going to do with it. Yeah, so I don't think at this point um, Kingdom is going to take a trade because there's no zone here anymore. Is there anything below? There's nothing below. So it has to create one. It's going to create one eventually. So the trade, Richard, the trade will always be in the direction of the zone. So when it comes to a support zone, it will only look for long trades. So let's say there was a support zone here, right? And let's say it looked to trigger a trade. It would only trigger it in a long, it would only be a long trade. Just like if it gets to a resistance zone, and it looks for there to be more sellers than buyers, it would only look for a sell trade, a short trade, a sell order. There's a quick recovery above 171. So, yeah, see, I would have loved to take that 171. They spike it quickly. They needed to take out all those stops, and 171 quickly reacts. And now, as long as they hold it, which I think they should, as long as they hold it, we're going to have a trip back up to 200. 207 is the actual number. Um, yeah, so just unfortunately, no trade. So it would be great, I guess, if they now came down here again. Um, and then there would be more buyers than sellers, I think. And then it would be a long, but they're going to go right to the resistance area. Rich, you're right. Okay, now it finds another support area. Let's see if they can come down here. Because now, as I said, that now after they tried 171, it's around 207. Again, this is very short time frames. I'm just going to quickly um, looking at very short-term charts. 207, yeah, from 171, 207 is the target. I would love it to take a trade here. It's not taking. Hmm, it's not taking. The thing is, Kingdom is showing buyers coming in, but it's not taking a trade. So, like, I wonder if I did something wrong here. I was testing it earlier when it really was taking trades. Just now it's not. Okay, we'll be patient. We'll be patient. All right, let me see in the chat if there are any more questions. While we wait, we're going to take a look again in the slideshow. They do recommend certain settings. As I said, I simply asked for the template for them to send me the template, and they would do it for you, obviously. Um, as far as best practices, probably better to set the ratio on 3. I have it on 2, but for some reason now it's not taking trades, which I find a bit odd. It took a bunch of trades earlier. As a matter of fact, too many trades on 2, and now it's not taking any. So I'm suspecting maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I need to, let me just try to reload Ninja script. Just, yeah, so they come here now. So let's see if it'll take a, a trade here. If the price went through the zone and No, well, again, King order block will decide, because you're asking if price goes through support, does it automatically become resistance? Logically, of course, I think the answer is yes. But as far as King order block, it would decide if it's going to paint it red. Only if it's red does it mean that King order block decided that it's now a resistance zone. But it's not gonna, we can't simply assume that because price breaks through support, it automatically become resistance if it's retested again from the bottom. Like you see how they just, oh, here they are. Oh, yes, takes a trade. It did it. Okay. All right. So it takes a trade in beautiful location, by the way. Beautiful location. It takes a trade. So good. So I didn't do anything wrong. It just, for whatever reason, just didn't happen. Again, it looks for an overwhelming numbers of buyers in a support area or overwhelming, I shouldn't say numbers of buyers, overwhelming buying orders in a support area or overwhelming sell orders in a resistance area to take a trade. Okay, so at least we've seen it happen. Now, was it 3 to 1? Probably not. And that's goes back to what I said earlier. With a ratio of 2, it's going to take more trades. They just might not be as accurate. With a ratio of 3, it's going to take less trades, but they might be just more accurate, right? Um, just objectively speaking, I like this area, even though I'd prefer for it to be above 171. Below 171 is kind of weak. I mean, for myself, I would prefer for price to be above 171 for a long, just me personally. Um, but I think it's a decent area. Slightly more aggressive than I would like, but it's a decent area for a long.
Target filled.
Let's take one. So yeah, King Auto Block called it perfectly. Really nice. And then Kingdom found more buying orders than selling orders with a 2 to 1 ratio, which resulted in triggering a long trade. And the fact that they can't get above 171 concerns me a little bit. They should be able to hold it, because if they can't hold it, we could see a new low for the day, which would be slightly unusual, let's say. But let's see what they do. Okay, let me get back to questions. Okay, answer that. You can develop your own strategies based on these indicators. If you are that smart, you could. I couldn't. But yes, yes, Dan. The answer is yes. I'm sure you could. Okay. Um, well, again, as far as you took a losing trade. Well, of course, I mean, you're going to have losing trades. Just because you tell you took a losing trade does not mean there was something wrong. It just means it's a losing trade, right? Can it be, for example, that you're in a support area? There are lots more buying orders coming in than selling orders. The indicator goes long, and all of a sudden, more selling orders are coming in. Of course, that's trading, right? That is trading. Um, all this does is it simply puts the odds in your favor. That's that's all we can hope from any strategy, from any methodology, from any indicator, right? All we want is an edge. That's all we can hope for. There is no such thing as 100%. There is no such thing of trading without losses. All we want is an edge. So it's very possible you took, a trade that ended up being a losing trade. Absolutely. And it's not because you did anything wrong. It's just what happened. Okay. Yes, answer that. Okay, so you're trying the ES now on 2 and it's working well. Good. Keep it on that. I don't want to be switching charts. Please, I'm I'm uncomfortable enough as it is with this. But no, great. So if ratio of 2 works well for you, stick with the ratio of 2. This is what I'm using 2 now just for this demonstration. But you will find in time that level 2 will just give you more signals, more trades, will trigger more trades. Okay. Um, the little block. Okay, so I'm not understanding that question about the block size. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, so whoever is using yes, the question is what king rank or bar size are you using? Um, I'm using 12.4 here on a Nasdaq. Boy, it's been a long trade, huh? They really are fighting over this 171. Again, as long as they're below it, they're somewhat weak. I much rather prefer them be above it. And then I think this trade will do great. So the one impressive thing with King Auto Block, it's how it identified the zone all the way back here, right? So look at what price does in the zone, which was identified by King Auto Block. Again, for myself, I prefer for them to be above 171. Anything below that, got some weakness going. To get above 171, we should fill both of these targets because they should go to around 207. All right, let me see more questions.
Submitted.
That's another long. Did I miss something? See, I looked away and I missed something. Oh, it identified another zone here.
Target filled.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. 171. Come on, conquer the 171. Let's go. Well, there's trouble with it. Yeah, so I took my eyes off the chart here. And it looks like it took another trade. Did we get stopped on the other one? I guess here, right? Didn't identify another long here. I wish I saw that. Did anyone see what happened? Could you guys tell me what happened? I took my eyes off the chart. I was looking at the chat box. Okay, so they gotta get to this 171. Come on. Boy, so many troubles here. Let's take off another one here.
Target filled.
All right. The last one I'm gonna let run. 171. Break through it. Gosh. Anytime it gets there, you see the importance of a number, right? They get to that 171, they fall apart. Okay, so they're gonna maybe take me out. They did. Okay, they took me out here. So now, once again, waiting for area of support, area of resistance, and orders coming in. Once again, these waves you see here, this one represents sellers, this one represents buyers. The zones are from King order block. Looks like we are developing another zone here. But I'll tell you, losing 171 like that is bearish. Hmm. Okay, sorry. Let me get back to the chat box.
Admitted.
Wait. Every time I go to the chat box. Okay, so once again, a long below 171 is not a good thing. So here you go. That's why don't take a long below 171. That actually is bearish. And yeah, we going lower. They tried, couldn't do it. And now it's the opposite side, and inverted level for 207 is 133. Oh, here we are, 133. I just said 133. So 133 is the opposing level, inverted level of 207. 207 is where they were supposed to get to if they could hold 171, could not hold 171. It's 133. They got to 133. When 133 could hold to take them back to 171. Anyway, now let's go to the chat box. I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to keep this going. Um, there was a flash and a quick reversal, yeah. But you saw how Kingdom caught it, right? It was so quick I didn't even see it, but it immediately identified somewhere there more buyers than sellers by a ratio of 2 to 1. And unfortunately, it didn't identify it here. Let's see if price will come back here. But as I said, if they got to 133, they could reverse to go back to 171. And then it's the whole thing all over again. If 171 holds, they're going to 207. So it's interesting the way it was done. A bit dirty, a bit dirty. They looked like they were going to hold it. They couldn't hold it. They got to the opposing level, 133, and now reversing to go back to 171, and let's see what's going to happen in 171. Guys, I should just realize I should bring you back to the slideshow. Um, I'll let you guys vote. Do you want to go back to the slideshow so we can see the offer and everything, or do you want to stay on the live chart a bit longer? What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do, I'll do. Slideshow, offer. Got you. Okay. So I'm going to take you there. I'm going to take you there. These numbers, you mean? Again, these are numbers of selling orders, numbers of buying orders. This is just the visual representation of buying and selling orders.
Admitted.
Oh, wait, we have a long, we have a long from here, right? So it comes into the zone I was talking about earlier, comes into the zone, senses more buying than selling orders, and fires a long trade. And now, as long as 133 holds, it's going to go up to 171 once again. But I did promise to show you guys the offer, so I don't want to upset people. So let me let me find. Okay, okay. So Offer. Okay, so this is the offer. So the full package is 896. And they actually include in it the King Renko bar. But even without the King Renko bar, Kingdom is 696 and King Auto Block is 296. So even just the two of those together, 896 is a good deal. They do include the King Renko bar. I imagine a lot of you have um, the King Renko bar. So please don't ask me what do you do if you already have it. Get in touch with ninZaRenko. Okay. And there was also a gift. Let me get you to the gift also, because you guys were so nice. Um, oh, by the way, so I don't know if hopefully you can see this, but take a screenshot of this if you have um, the system already. Uh, they basically go over what values to put. Sorry about that. What values to put in the indicators. As I said, I just asked for the template because I didn't want to deal with all this. It's not complicated. I mean, even I can do it, but it's just the values to put. So take a screenshot of this. Are you kidding? Hmm. And okay, the gift. Oh, not the gift. Uh, this is the offer, and this is the gift. Um, how do you get it? Get in touch with ninZaRenko. I don't know. It looks like it's some kind of a moving average. Okay, let's see. Okay, so did I cover everything? I think I did. This is the offer. This is the gift. Let me see if there was any questions that I missed. Offer slides, answer that, answer that. Uh, printed when the trade happens. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to go back to the live chart.
Order
Second.
submitted.
Oh, just took a trade, looks like. Okay, let me find it in Zoom. Are we talking about this? Like when they take the trade? I guess it shows you the ratio or the number of. That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. Let's uh so this is the gauge for the buyers and sellers, but this 6, 10, and 3. So I guess that's the ratio. Looks like it maybe 10 buying orders and 3 selling orders. And now you come with the. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. 1 second. Gotta take this. They won't leave me alone. 1 minute. Sorry about this. Yeah, so I think that's when it triggers a trade, it tells you I think the buyers and sellers, how many buyers, how many sellers. I believe I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what this is. Yeah, it's the ratio when the trade is taken. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Richard. Okay, so we are now in the trade.
Target filled.
Filled one target. They made pretty much an equal low. For the session. Again, weakness below 171. I did not quite expect that. To be honest, I thought 171 would hold and we're going to move higher. They did the opposite. They let 171 go, and then we went lower. They are above 133 now. So I do like this long. Just, objectively, I like the long. Whoa, that's very obnoxious. It's so loud. Okay, let's bring this. Oops, I can't even. Can I drag it? There we go. I'll just drag it. So good location. So this is where the trade was, right? Here. Good location. And they took me out. Okay. Yeah, I just trailed way too close probably, but that's all right. Um, let's give them a few more minutes. Let's see if we can find if they can give us another trade. So again, just to review, Kingdom will only look for long trades in support areas, only look for short trades in resistance areas. Um, even though both are activated, I activated both longs and shorts. The way Kingdom works, it works in conjunction with whatever indicator you choose. In this case, we chose King Order Block. Um, and because we chose King Order Block, it would follow the King Order Block rules, so to speak. And King Order Block's rules are to look for shorts in.
Submitted.
Here we go. So just took a short because it was in this resistance area. I'm not so sure about the short because now, if anything, they're going to go toward 171. But that's all right. The point is, price got into here. There were more selling orders coming in than buying orders with a 2-to-1 ratio, and it triggered a short trade. And let's see if we can have at least first target. Let's see.
Target filled.
Okay, so we have one target. In this sense, Kingdom is acting as a confirmation to King Order Block, right? So if King Order Block finds an area of resistance, Kingdom will confirm by seeing if there are more sellers than buyers, or at least the ratio um, of orders coming in of more sellers than buyers. Hmm. All right, I want to bring up the second target here, close by. Just want to take the second one out and then see what's.
Target filled.
Let's see what's going to happen now with the last one. Okay, let's see the chat box. I don't think King Auto Block has anything to do with time and sales, my opinion. I could be wrong. Again, King Auto Block is this. Um, so I'm not exactly sure about time and sales. Well, I'm in a short, so obviously I want some nice breakdown here. I want them to be able to take out this area of support that King Auto Block identified. Obviously, you know, like in a real trade, this would be a concern, right? Kind of going right into support. But let's see if they can break it. Because if they can, the next area is here, which is right where my target is. Maybe I can raise it a little bit, like here. See if they can reach it. Now, see, this is support here. Okay, so trying to break, trying to break. Right, covering again. All right, well, I don't want this, but not to run too long. Maybe let's bring this down. And if they take us out, we'll just look at the offer again and call it a day. Any last questions? Please put them in the chat box. How do you get the free gift? Could you maybe get in touch with NINZA support? It's one of those things. Every time I come here, I say I'm going to find out how to get the free gift, and every time I forget. Is there a money back option? I don't know of a money back option. I know they have an exchange policy. So ninZaRenko has an exchange policy. They give you, I think, 30 days maybe. Look on their website. I think they give you 30 days. Like you like it or they exchange it for an equal value, right? Let's see. Take multiple trades. I'm not sure what you mean by multiple trades. Yeah, it's exchange 30 days, right? Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's something. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Policy, exchange policy. 45 days, really. Okay, I thought it was just 30. Okay, good to know. Free gift. Let me show you the free gift. Uh we're still in this trade, but just going sideways here. So let me find. There we go. Yeah, this is the free gift. Again, get in touch with ninZaRenko support and they'll tell you how to get the free gift. I imagine if you're watching this on YouTube as a recording, I'm sure it's in the description. They might describe how to get it. I just always forget to ask how. Okay. All right, everyone. I'll just double check if there are no other questions. I think it's been fun. I enjoyed it. It's an interesting approach to trading. It's basically confirming whatever the indicator says with actual orders coming in, right? Because doesn't matter what an indicator says, if the indicator says go short, but there are buying orders coming in that are overwhelming the sell orders, it's not going to work. So, so in this sense, it's a nice combination of Kingdom and King Order Block because you have areas of support and resistance, and then you confirm it with actual buy and sell orders that are incoming. In that sense, it's quite unique. Okay, let's see. Uh, Interesting. Good. Thank you. Thank you.
Order submitted.
Okay, it takes another order. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it. We had enough. Okay, so remember, ratio of two is going to give you a lot of signals, which is not necessarily maybe what you want. In any case, thank you all, and I'll see you next time.